Yeah, we are devolving. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's the girl Aida Rodriguez. Welcome to another episode of Truth Serum, where we give it to you straight with no chaser. I don't know why I'm yelling. I guess I've been watching Rush Limbaugh videos, and I'm like, you gotta tell it loud so that that can make you more believable. I don't know what it is about conservative media where they feel like they gotta shout at you and you really get it. But I'm just messing with y'all. It's Friday. We are going to roast the headlines. I will be joined by a very funny person very shortly, but I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to every one of you who continues to show up. You continue to interact. You continue to share and let other people know about the Truth Serum. And I just want to say thank you. Many of you donate. We want to keep the show going, and we want to say thank you because this is nothing without you. That being said, this week has been a very interesting week. I don't know of a week that has not been interesting since January of 2020. And it is, it just keeps on giving. The comedy keeps writing itself. Today, we are going to be roasting the headlines. And I am going to bring aboard the truth train. I'm going for corny today. One of my girls who I started doing stand-up with, actually very funny woman, was on America's Got Talent. She was on Last Comic Standing. She did the comedy thing with Will Smith. That was the only thing she's ever done that I've been jealous of. And, she's also my fellow Caribbean woman. And when we talk about intersectionality here and we talk about Blackness and Latinidad and Afro-Latinidad and just the people that we have a lot in common with, a lot of people don't know that those of us that are Caribbean, West Indies, have a lot in common with our food, our music, our culture, our connection to the motherland. And more times, we're even more connected than people with Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, and Cubans, and people in Central and South America. But the one thing that connects us all is the plantain. So my fellow plantaneer,
I love plantain.
woman is Jackie Fabulous. What's up, Jackie Fabo?
Girl, you made me hungry. I'm about to go fry some plantain as soon as we sign off this bitch. Hey girl, what's going on?
Listen, I was actually excited about you being here because I knew that I would have an opportunity to laugh.
Uh-huh.
I told it and I don't hide behind it. So when I have other comedians on here, I'm like, hey, I want y'all to come on here and be funny. And then they start delivering the I have a dream speech. And I'm like, I wanted you to be funny. I wanted you to post the headlines. And I knew that you would actually do it.
I have a hard time turning it off. So this is gonna be either fantastic or you're gonna regret it. So let's go.
Anyway, first of all, where are you and how are you doing? El bacano, que lo que? That's the greeting for my Dominican people.
Okay. I'm currently in the Bronx. As you know, I lived in LA 20 years and I moved back in October for all wonderful reasons. Save money because I was touring, maybe pay off my childhood home. And then COVID was like, girl, look at all those dreams and goals you have. You're so cute. You ain't doing none of that shit right now. So I'm in my childhood home in the bedroom I grew up in. The very first time I ever masturbated and had an orgasm was right here. So full circle, girl. Full circle.
Wow. I'm assuming that it's full circle because you are currently masturbating in that room now.
Yes, memories. I've gotten better. I know how to get there faster. When I was 10 or 11, I was an amateur, but I'm a pro at this now.
It's hilarious. I need to fix my lighting because this glare is driving me crazy.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you. So let's talk about you a little bit before we get into these headlines. You did America's Got Talent, and that changed a lot of stuff in your trajectory in terms of your career. And you, I remember watching it and people going crazy over your video before the episode aired.
Oh, okay. The commercial little teaser.
Yeah, how we posted it and tweeted about it. And I was like, uh-oh, it's about to go. How was that experience for you?
It was wonderful. Every single second of it. I think the reason why it was so fun and not stressful is because I didn't make the show my life. I added the show appearances to my calendar because
Mhm.
I would go do the taping, and then if I had enough time, I'd do a show in Hollywood after the show was done. So I just made it like, wake up and go to the set, stay there for hours, and do the contest round. And then when it was done, I'd be, all right, guys, thank you. Then I would go to the improv and work on the set for the next round. So I didn't make it my life. Although I would have lost my mind if I had made it. If I had canceled everything, I
Yeah.
wouldn't have gone so far. But I made it part of my itinerary, my comedian schedule, and I had fun. And when they like you, they want you to do well. So they were very nurturing, and they didn't edit my material. They didn't change a joke. They just said, you can't drop an F-bomb. I'm like, oh, thank you for reminding me. It is NBC. And then I just did everything I always did. I didn't go there with a new plan. I didn't reinvent the wheel. I was myself, and I had fun. So therefore, those who watched me, I'm hoping, had fun too.
So you did Last Comic Standing too, and you did
Yes.
America's Got Talent. I didn't have the chutzpah, the wherewithal, the energy to do another reality show. How was the experience different for you? I couldn't do it. Not a comedy reality show.
Uh, well, Last Comic Standing eliminated me during the commercial break, so that's different. While I was at craft services getting a sandwich, they were like, "You can just get your purse because you're not coming back when we come back on air." So it was different because it was way more stressful because Last Comic was all comics and 90% my friends and colleagues, and so it was relaxing backstage. It was just a hang. But when you got on stage and did it, I was judged by Roseanne Barr and Keenan Ivory Wayans and Norm Macdonald, and then we had the superstar Wanda was the producer, Wanda Sykes. So it was a lot high pressure, high stakes. And I
Mhm.
thought that Last Comic was going to be it. Like I was ready. Like I enjoyed my set. The audience did. Roseanne did. Keenan and Norm were like, we think you're cute, but this ain't gonna be your year. And they said that without saying that. They kind of around the, like Norm Macdonald actually said, I think you're gorgeous, but I don't know what you're talking about. Like his exact words. And I was like, I love being complimented. I love being told that I'm attractive, but not right now. This is not the time.
This is comedy.
So it's comedy. So Last Comic I thought was going to be the one. And then 5 years later, America's Got Talent happened. And I kind of did that thinking I was ready. Because I was ready for Last Comic, but clearly the universe knows when you're really ready. And America's Got Talent was like, now you're ready. And probably because I was competing against, I don't know, fucking birds and dogs and children and men riding a unicycle and a man out of a cannon on purpose. Maybe that's why I did well. I didn't have much competition.
Yeah,
Acrobat girl. Gigantic poodles I was competing against. It was fun.
oh my God, Jackie. And then we think that was when were you done with AGT?
It was it's 2019. That whole year was I did 4 rounds, and it ended September 2019 was the finals. So I just made it. The show just ended about a year ago. It feels like I did it in 1997 because everything is so different. I'm like, I was just there.
You do the show. It's September. Things start closing down because holidays are coming. You say 2020, I'm about to be lit.
Girl, my calendar was fucking popping. And I tell you, I got no. First of all, I was on the road every weekend. Of course, that's the goal. But when I came back from on the road, I was at the Cellar in Manhattan the manager there was like, you don't have to come in every day. You don't got to get your avails. You can rest. Like I would get off the airplane, bring my suitcase to the club on a Sunday afternoon, coming back from whatever state. And the manager, Val, was like, Jackie, I know you love it here, but you're past. You don't have to. It's cool. I'm like, you sure? Because I ain't been here in 5 days and I'm nervous.
I love that. Well, isn't it funny? I feel that way. I feel like every time I get on the plane to leave New York, that I'm not gonna get back up at the Cellar when I come back. Like I'm always like, I love you, Esty. Like make sure that I stay within that people remember me because that's such an important club to work in, and you get to work with people think that because of the cachet or whatever, but it's really about being able to work with the best of them because you
That's
rise
right.
to the occasion, right?
Yeah.
So you left LA when?
I left LA October 31st, Halloween, 2019. I really, and I didn't have any plan. Like, thank God, nothing bad happened. Nobody died. No financial bankruptcy. I felt very stagnant. I was repetitive. I had all my regular spots in all the clubs in Southern California, but I wasn't getting better. I was just, literally, I would like get a little bit high, smoke a little bit of weed, get in my Camry and drive to whatever club, perform, do fine, and then come back home and do that every single day. Audition, but I wasn't booking anything substantial. So I just felt kind of down. Like, I need to shake it up. I didn't want to make any major change. I just wanted to make a major change. If that
Yeah.
makes any sense.
Yeah.
So when I moved back to New York, I started booking this week at the Cellar on Comedy Central, and things just picked up because I put some energy into my goals as opposed to just being in my apartment that you've seen, quite comfortable, but it gets really lonely in that, 2-bedroom, 2-bath. And I want a house. So I'm like, I need to up my game. And, when I moved back, it just felt good. It wasn't anything bad. I got rid of my car, sold my furniture, gave shit away, like 47 bags of my clothes to Goodwill. When you need to go, you realize none of the stuff that I own matters. I got rid of everything. It was fantastic.
Mary, we love you back. We love you back, Mary. I feel you, Frederick. Hey, Tommy Chan, how you doing? And to TMI, Derek Washington. I don't think so. There's no such thing as TMI when it comes to a stand-up comedian. So you are now there. You've been deprived of the stage. So today you're going to get to do some comedy because we're going to roast these headlines.
Just do it.
First of all, before I go to any of the other stories, did you see Rudy Giuliani's head?
The fact that he was the mayor of New York at one point, I don't even understand. Like, he was once in office in the place that I love. And now he looks like that crazy uncle who shouldn't be left alone with the kids. And literally.
But do you see the Borat thing?
I didn't see the movie yet, but I saw him reaching into his crotch, and that's a very familiar move. We all know what that looks like.
Did we find out what that was dripping? Was it hair dye?
Somebody said online that it wasn't hair dye, although I don't know. It could have been anybody, but I don't know. We all know what it's like to maybe try and cover up gray or roots, so they don't have time to get our hair done, men and women. And we know that dye. You don't put dye in your hair. Like, maybe it's one of those spray cover-ups for men with the emergency gray coverage. Bottom line, though, he ain't got no friends. Because I saw a video when he was dripping, and people were like, "Boy, dude, you ain't got nobody in your corner to look at you before you go out there. Not one last look before you come out to the camera. That's how you know you ain't got no friends."
Nah, none of them. They don't have friends, and they are not friends, and they're definitely not friends of the American people.
No.
So here we go. CDC warns America, do not travel for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So people are having meltdowns, literal meltdowns. Really, like the quarterback of the Detroit Lions' wife did a rant on Instagram yesterday saying that this state is a dictatorship, and she doesn't like to be in a state. She doesn't like to be in a place where she is told what to do. And she knows that coronavirus is bad, but these small businesses are struggling. And she went on this rant. She trended on Twitter. They crushed her because her husband made $27 million, and she's sitting there complaining in her expensive luxury vehicle, about to pull up into her her home was a $27 million home. And she was complaining about, the masks and all of this stuff. So I wanted to hear your thoughts on this.
This mask thing, that woman, I make $270 a week now, as opposed to her $27 million home. And I have found a way to be inside. I order from Amazon every half hour. So if I could find a way to stay out of the CDC's where they warn you not to go, why can't somebody who's rich, they don't know what oppression means? Because for some people, oppression for them means being told what to do for the first time in their lives, where we've
Yeah.
been told what we can and cannot do most of our lives. Like the first time I went somewhere where I noticed that nobody gave a damn about the mask was Orange County, California. When I went out there to perform with the Irvine Improv at Irvine Spectrum, and I parked my car, we got out to go to the stage, and the mall was full. First of all, in a pandemic, I was driving around the mall. You know how you go through the layers to find a parking spot?
Yep.
And I was driving around. I'm like, who the fuck are these people out here on a Saturday like it's a regular day? I should have nothing but parking spots, and there were none until I got to the roof. And nobody had on a mask, kids and families. And I'm like, this woman complaining. I mean, you should be ripped a new a-hole for the way you guys are acting, because the mask thing, how can one state not believe in it and another one do believe in it? I don't understand what's going on. First of all, I think everyone either has COVID right now or had it. Everybody. I think I had it. I didn't get tested, but I was sick for 2 months. And from January to March, I was sick. And the way I knew that I was sick is that I canceled gigs. And we don't cancel gigs unless our eye is almost falling out. And I canceled thousands of dollars because I was like, if I get on an airplane now, I will die. I had no taste, no smell. I could barely hear an ear infection, a flu that I thought was, I thought I was dying. I was calling ex-boyfriends like, dude, this is a big one. I probably gave it to you. This is your last night. I mean, I thought I was dying of STD, syphilis. I was so sick for so long. So this woman, maybe she just needs to get it. And then she'll realize, and this is a horrible thing to wish on anyone. No one should wish sickness on someone. But some of you need to have, congestion for 2 months so you can realize that this is not a joke.
Wow. I think that America's so privileged. If everyone treated this outbreak like a terrorist attack, we'd be over the curve right now. It's really shocking because we don't know what to believe, right? Everybody it doesn't trust the government, right? And you have good reason, whether you're whatever political affiliation you subscribe to, you are wait.
Are we allowed to comment? Who's this guy? David Monconduit said you scared because you fat. Are we allowed to talk back to them? Your mom, stop talking about your mother that way. Where's he at? Oh, it was fun. Every now and then I like the trolls because I don't get to tell anybody off because I'm inside the house.
No, I just don't like that kind of stuff because most of the people who come to the
supportive
here, they're very they're just smart. They don't do.
They love you, yeah.
But they're not shitty to people. Okay, so for Thanksgiving Day, Zoom will lift its 40-minute time limit for free meetings.
Girl, I have been doing Zoom about 3 times a day every day since March. I have not had any meeting less than an hour. I didn't know Zoom had time limits. And I think I am paying $14.99 for premium Zoom.
Yeah,
that's why. Because I'm like, I've been on Zoom for hours. I mean, we would go on Zoom, record it, and then turn off the recording on YouTube and still be on here just kicking it, whether it's for money or for free or happy hours. And when I went to California a few weeks ago, my whole family freaked out because they were like, California is a hot spot. When you get back, you got to quarantine. Don't come near us. That's deep down. That's kind of a blessing. When your family's like, stay the hell away from us. I'm like, thank you, Jesus. I will stay the hell away from all of you for at least 4 weeks. I know you only require 2, but God damn it, I'm going to take 4.
Yes. All right. So we're going to go to, I'm looking at these stories and I'm like, they just all make me mad. So Joel Salatin and anti-vaxxer friends host 300 at a maskless Virginia farm bash. They had this looks like, is that David Koresh? It looks like a cult What is going on here? What are these people doing?
I mean, it's over 70 million people voted for Trump, and this is probably a good fraction of them. I don't understand, and I'm grateful slash very saddened by the fact that this political climate has kind of made opened our eyes to all of the puppets and idiots that I didn't know existed. I know there were several. I know there were millions upon millions upon millions upon millions. And this rally, whatever it is, this Klan rally that we're looking at, I don't understand. I don't really get it. I don't understand. Like I said, you guys gotta lose people in your family to get. I haven't lost anyone close to me, thank you God. But I still know what it's like to live somewhere where people. Oh, this is how I know the difference, and they need to feel this as people at this Klan rally. I hear an ambulance every couple of seconds in my neighborhood. And I'm in the Bronx, so clearly that's part of the climate here. But I hear it 4 times as much. And I know that's not a coincidence. I had neighbors who the husband and wife passed away, and they were old and they weren't healthy. But I also think COVID plays a part if you already have things going on that you may or may not have known about. Like
Right.
people are dying around me. And the fact that we can't go nowhere, I mean, we can't go nowhere. Why wouldn't that be enough? If the airlines are like, look, we know you want to go see everyone and your family and go to work, but you can't. When the economy is like, you can't go make money for us and for you, it's real. These folks must not. They must all have like an Etsy shop where they make earrings. What do they do for a living?
What do they do for a living?
Yeah, this crowd of people. What do they do? What
Okay.
they have jobs? Look at them. They look. This girl here in this really pretty tangerine sundress with a nice denim jacket over it and a cute fedora. Fuck her. Fuck her. Particularly because I'm annoyed. How dare you dress nice while you almost kill everybody around you? The black guy next to her, kind of next to her. Fuck you too. Oh my God, I don't get it. This one, you got a bald spot. You deserve it. Let's go for this picture one by one. No, I'm joking.
I mean, that is where we are now, right? So they politicized this virus that is so destructive and is hurting so many people, specifically people who look like us, right? They politicized it. I went hiking today in Calabasas, and there were a bunch of people who weren't wearing a mask. And then someone was like, yeah, we don't wear masks in Calabasas. They don't believe that it's real here. This is a plot by the government to make us stay away from each other. And that this is just phase 1. It's not real. And I'm like, I know people who have died from this. I know people who've had it and are still suffering the after effects of having COVID, that have scar tissue in their lungs, who still are not fully operational, like they're not fully there. And there are people here saying it's not real. This is part of a conspiracy theory for the new world order to control us so that we can stay away from each other, because that way they can control us.
Stay away from other human beings, just isolate ourselves? Really? That's a really extravagant plan. There's a lot of people out there. And don't forget, as long as sex exists, we're not going to stay away from each other. Nope. As long as intercourse is still a thing of pleasure and necessity for the population, we're not going to leave each other alone. What new world order? This is such creepy shit. What does that mean?
I mean,
new world order.
I know that the government does some shitty stuff. I mean, they did the Tuskegee experiment. They've done horrible things, but why would you chance it? We don't trust them. Right? So until we figure this out, we ain't coming out the house. That's how good. You like, I ain't messing with it.
I don't trust nobody. I remember there's a woman, a new friend, and I'm looking at her Instagram page, and I'm looking to try and see any kind of political, because I suspect she may have voted for so-and-so. She's a new friend of mine. And if you have nothing political on your social media page, I'm like, you probably did, but you're scared. You know what I mean? Because I remember when he won the first time, 2016, I had a show at the Ventura Harbor Comedy Club, which is negative 3% Black.
Yeah.
And I got on stage the day after the election, and I was still in my angry state of mind. And I remember getting on stage, and before I began anything funny, I was like, "Where y'all at? Who voted?" Because and then many shows after that, nobody would admit it. I was like, "If you guys want to praise this fool, put your hand up." And when I tell you that crowds of people, people stop blinking. They don't want to be noticed that badly. They
Well,
wouldn't put their hand up. They would hold their breath. I was like, somebody clearly did. I don't really understand. I'm confused every day. I'm stressed every day. I don't know what's going on. I'm drinking more, which is really just, I want to. It's nothing to do with the election. I just like drinking.
I, it's funny because I could be a drinker. Thank you, Tina Lulu. I appreciate you. All right, next story. Lawsuit. Tyson managers. So the Tyson Farms, the fresh meat plant in Waterloo, suspended operations in April. People who were symptomatic and were complaining about being symptomatic and complained to their managers were told to continue to work. And then the managers bet on who would contract the virus. And they had betting pools. So this is where we are now, right? This is America. It's a wrongful death lawsuit tied to COVID-19 infections in a Waterloo pork. That's what y'all get for eating that hog plant during the initial stages of the pandemic. Tyson Foods ordered employees to report for work while supervisors privately wagered money on the number of workers who would be sickened by the deadly virus. What kind of evil, like, seriously, this is where we are as society.
That makes me, when I hear Tyson, my first thought is chicken. And I just I just made a roasted chicken in my crock pot last night. And I'm like, I'm about to go down to that garbage pail, look for the wrapper. If that bitch says Tyson on it, I'm throwing that chicken into the street. People are evil. Like I said, this whole thing has opened our eyes to realize there are people out there who really are evil or indifferent, which can be the same thing. I don't know. I mean, Purdue was popping Purdue because Tyson about to go out of business, hopefully, or maybe not. Purdue, are you guys okay? All these food plants also. I mean, I'm disappointed because Tyson makes a great chicken finger. We all know Tyson Foods and people who work there. In fact, maybe that now that this is public, that something bad will happen over there. They'll teach them a lesson. But don't mess with the food because you can kill people with this whole betting and people getting sick. And now I'm like, oh my God, now the food might be tainted. There's several layers of regret with this discovery and this news story.
Well, one of the regrets here is that Tyson Foods tapped Latino civil rights group for pandemic PR. So after they do these horrific acts, then they go to LULAC for a publicity push over its safety record. I don't know about y'all, but I'm tired of people of color, Black people, bailing people out in this country. It's just enough is enough. Stop coming to us after y'all do y'all dirty work and asking us to help clean it up. And shame on any company that participates in sweeping this under the rug when you know that those factories are filled with people who look like us, that are Black and brown, who were the ones that were being affected by this. When do you draw the line between getting the check and standing up for something that has to do with your principle?
Even though I seem like Pollyanna positive, I do have a dark conspiracy theorist that I always gotta kind of suppress because she takes away the funny and makes me sad. But I do low-key think there's always a modern type genocide happening in the world. And I've always thought this, but I always try and think the best in other people. But I really think there's a small, manageable, less public, secret genocide that always happens where those of us that look like us, they kind of clearly they want to suppress our vote, because Mr. Pumpkin Face is angry that everyone of color voted for him to get out of office. And I feel like this thing at this plant and everything, it's all a low key, like we want to, control them, of course, and then kind of kill them off. When the ones who give any kind of resistance. And it's I don't really know what to do. I'm not gonna lie. I'm 49 years old. Part of me feels finished. Like, God, I've had a wonderful life. I've done a lot. I've accomplished a lot. I don't know what to do. Like, I'm not gonna lie, and this is my first time saying this in the public forum. I've considered running for office in
Right.
New York, in the Bronx, because I'm like, I don't know. I can't sit at home and stew. Posting on social media is fantastic, but that's not really doing anything. I'm like, I don't know what else to do. Like, before I die, I want to do more than be funny. And
Right.
this stuff is making me nauseous.
Well, you're right. It's like we are surprised, we get shocked when we find out that America has been America. America is being America, doing shitty stuff to the people here. And because Tyson is provide has foods that are less expensive. So
Hmm.
people that are poor, that are overworked, who can't afford to buy organic food at Whole Foods are buying these processed foods because they work a lot, they got kids, and it's easy to pop a few chicken tenders. And so those are the people that food is for. And the people who work in those places are also the people within that in that financial bracket. So,
Yeah.
but how shitty is it to, we should know the names of the managers. We should know the names of the managers who were betting on the employees of the Tyson meat plants to see who got contracted COVID. I think we should know the names, and I think if people find out, we should let them know, because that's some evil shit. Larry Goodwill, our fellow comic in Houston, said that he would vote for you, Jackie.
Oh, thank you, Larry Goodwill. I appreciate. Are you the dude from Facebook, Larry? The one
Yeah,
who be dancing while you iron your clothes?
yes.
Your videos make me smile, my love. It's nice to talk to you.
Yeah, he's really funny.
Yeah.
He goes in. He goes in on everybody. So he would
Nice.
definitely, he's canceled material, and those are the only people that I fool with. So Larry, don't go nowhere. We love your commentary. We're gonna show a video now. I'm gonna skip to this California woman wields stun gun while accusing family of acting like black people in a white neighborhood. I'm
Oh
sure you
yeah.
guys saw this.
Yeah, I saw that.
We were raised around black people. And all my uncles were very nice.
I got everything
You know
on
what?
camera. So you can leave, please. You can get off my property. My dog has never messed with your
You
dog.
were doing anything to me again, I'll call the police.
Call the police. Everything's on camera. I'll be happy to show him. I'll be happy to show him. I
don't want to see that dog outside.
Well, he's going to be outside because I have a right to have him just like every other person in here. He ain't done nothing to you. He ain't done nothing to your dog.
Why are you so nasty?
I'm nasty by explaining to you that my dog hasn't done anything wrong. You came over here to my house on my property.
But the dog came to my
Ma'am,
property.
Look, I've been nice to you. I've helped you and your family. I've always talked to you.
You've
But-
never
Yes,
helped me
I
and
have.
my
I'm not-
family. You've never done a goddamn thing.
You coming over here to
All
tell me-
you've done is been negative.
No, I haven't. I'm gonna ask you to please leave my property. I don't know if you're just having a bad day or whatever, but today ain't the
I'm
day.
not having a bad day, but
Yes,
you know
you are.
what? You're a black person in a white neighborhood, and you're acting like one. Why don't you act like a white person in a white neighborhood?
Keep it up. It's all on camera.
I don't give a shit what it is
All
on
right,
camera.
well, you can go back over to your house and you can have a nice day. That's what you can do. And I'll ask you to please leave my property. I don't know if you're just having a bad day or whatever, but today ain't the
I'm
day.
not having a bad day, but
Yes,
you know
you are.
what? You're a black person in a white neighborhood, and you're acting like one. Why don't you act like a white person in a white neighborhood?
Keep it up. It's all on camera.
I look away from the videos sometimes because they trigger me now, and I realize that, which is why I have to fast from social media. But this is becoming more and more common. The more that we learn about this administration and their behaviors, not that it's a surprise, but every day we hear some more things that really, really land on the racism, right? Michigan trying to suppress the votes of the people in Detroit. They've been trying to do that in Atlanta and Georgia as well. And so when people tell you and tell me that this is not racism, these are isolated incidents. Racism is a thing of the past. You know, slavery ended a long time ago. Black people and white people live together. Why are y'all harping on this? This is not the majority of the people. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
What's funny is that the video is long as hell, and you didn't get to the end of it. But his partner, a female, came out, and she was like, "Who the fuck, bitch?" And I was like, "There you go. We need to scare them. Clearly, we can't put hands on them because all kind of problems happen. But we need to act." If she's like, "You're a black person in a white neighborhood. Act white in a white neighborhood. We need to act more like niggas in a white neighborhood, so they're scared to come on our steps."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you if you step foot on you walk onto my property and tell me what to do, I'm gonna record it and I'm gonna cuss you out in a way that'll make you run back to your house crying, and I'll threaten you, whatever. But you know, I'm not touching you. Just don't touch anyone. Don't put your hands on nobody that does stuff like that. But you need to yell and curse and act crazy, break your own windows, do whatever you gotta do, so that bitches like that can run away from you, because they have how many videos weekly? It's like a sitcom now.
Abe, I don't think that nobody's saying that it's becoming more common. I'm saying this is always what it's been. And now they are starting,
on camera.
Everybody's starting to see it. And now they're like, oh my God. Or, you know, like when the cop pushes the white lady, she's like, wait a minute, when y'all started pushing us? Like, you know, like it's been. And listen, I'm not an advocate of violence, but if you put your hands on me, I'm gonna put
everybody
on you.
I'm gonna put everybody.
And I listen. I'm not about. You're not about to nonviolent. No, if you put your hands on me, I'm gonna put two on you.
I'll give you an example of how to scare them. I was on, the Flyaway, the bus from Van Nuys, LAX. I was on the Flyaway from LAX to Van Nuys, and there was a lady. I was sitting in the passenger seat. I'm sorry, the aisle seat, and a white lady got on, and she came to my aisle, and she's like, "Can you move down to the window?" And I said, "No, I sat here because I want to sit here." And she goes, "Well, that's what that's for. You're supposed to slide." And she was like a Karen. And I said, "Bitch, I'm not moving. We need more of that. We need more yelling and screaming, because everyone is being nice out of fear." Or I'm assuming they think being nice is easier. But I yelled so loud at her. I'm like, "Bitch, if you don't shut the fuck down," and you need more of that. Because sometimes they don't feel like they don't feel any intimidation because they think that we're really scared. And the only way to combat this, they're not scared of us, so why should we be scared of them? He should have lost his mind on that lady, because, like you said, if you put your hands on me, I'm killing everybody. I'm killing her dog. I'm killing her whole family, and that's the kind of thing you have to do. Threaten them, But when you put your hands on me, it's different. Make them think that you might put your hands on them verbally, and then, what else can you do? Intimidation is what they're trying. So we need to show them that no, ain't nobody better at intimidating than a person of color, because we are all angry deep down, or not that deep. 2 layers in, I'm one strike away.
So January, I'm coming back from Sundance. I'm at the airport in Utah, right? And mind you, I was already in a bad mood because we had lost Kobe and his daughter, right? So that was that trip. And we are lining up. We flew Southwest because Southwest flies to Utah frequently. The flights come back and forth. And I ain't got to explain why I flew Southwest. I flew Southwest because I flew Southwest. Hollywood shit. I have to talk myself out of this sometimes. So I'm in line, and there's a chunk of space between me and the line before you start walking. And I'm in A2, and this white woman walks up to me and says, "I need you to move up." And I said, I just looked at her. And she said, "I need you to move up." I said, "Do you work for Southwest?" She said, "No." I said, "I don't." I looked at her. I said, "You don't need me to do a goddamn thing." You understand me? I said, "I'm going to need you to give me 10 feet. Step the fuck back now." Like, that's right. That's how you do it.
Yes, how you do it.
She was antagonizing us for the whole time, though. She just kept on and on and on and on. She kept, walking around. And then finally she was like, I'm going to need you to move. She was behind me. I was like, I felt like Martin, like, get in line, punk. Get in line. Like Dragonfly Jones. My name is Dragonfly Jones.
You know what I said to a woman one time? Same thing at a gate, airline gate. And there was a white woman behind me who was picking at everyone. And she asked me to move up too, because I wasn't moving up fast enough. And I said to her, do you want to be famous today? And I took my phone out, and she just shut up. That's all I said. I said, do you want to be famous today? Because she was trying me, and I'm like, I'm not gonna go off, but I'm gonna record this shit. And now, although you would think by now that all the racists and assholes would know that we all have a phone on us, but they don't even care about the video. But it's a credible threat, though.
They don't care. They don't care. They out here. They don't care, and it is become, And listen, people who come here that are that get triggered and offended because they're like, this language is violent or whatever. Yo, let me tell you something. People of color, Black people in this country and abroad have been abused and mistreated so much. And it has become something that we've had to learn to psychologically digest, because it is just part of the way. And there have been so many consequences for retaliation. You know what I'm saying? So what it's enough. It is enough. It is not, there is nothing wrong with you going upside somebody's motherfucking head if they are trying to abuse you, mistreat you, marginalize you, be violent towards you. Yo, it's like, yo, I am done with that shit. The passive and the civility stuff, it is getting us nothing.
Yeah.
And we have to be worried about being called civilized by people who are not civilized. You motherfucking savages, and all the shit you've done to us. And now when we slap the shit out of you, lady, in the gas station, I'm ghetto, bitch. Don't put no hands on me. The other day I was flying back from Florida. I was getting on the shuttle to go to get my get in an Uber. Yeah. And that man just walked in front of me, right? He saw me in line. And he when he realized I just moved out the way, because I was like, yo, I'm not trying to be in close contact with anybody. And then he comes back, he grabs me by my arm, and he was like, oh, you were in front of me, and puts me in front. And it didn't dawn on me until 5 seconds later, because I was, I'm like, loose me. Like, I get hood. But I was like, the fact that it was okay in his head, and this dude, was like, Omar was like, I want to choke him. I was like, no, you can't choke him. You can't choke him.
You gotta, we have to train them away from this sense of entitlement. Another example, my next door neighbors had some friends who knew that I lived here, and America's Got Talent's got some cult fans also. And my mother was on the porch, and he was like telling my mother to go get me, like insisting. And she's like, oh, she's inside, she's not dressed. He's like, I don't need her to be dressed. I just want to see her come to the door. And I was like, he has -2 more seconds before I bust out this fucking front door and curse him the fuck off and be like, if you don't get the fuck away from my mother, because that'll make me kill the whole block.
Right. Of course.
But he felt so comfortable acting like, well, of course I want to meet her. Tell her to come out here. I'm like, would he have done that to a white act? I doubt it. But to me, the Black girl who was on the show, well, I need to meet, and he was like, I need to meet her. Tell her to go get her. Tell her to come outside. And he did it twice, and I gave him one more time to insist to my mother to go get her daughter to come out. I'm like, nigga, I will kill everyone that you know. The level of anger, but you get so tired of being treated like, well, of course you guys are going to be marginalized because we know that you need to have our thumb kept on you like that. And once we let them know, like, you guys we gotta tell you in our own way that you need to step the fuck back. And if we do that more often on a regular basis without any fear, they'll, it'll take a while, but they have to learn. They're going to learn today, as Kevin would say, Mr. Hart.
What's funny is that I will say this, people, you always see the videos where somebody that's black or brown, it just goes off, right? Because and people are like, well, why do you have to do that? Like, or cop, like, why aren't they complying? Because psychologically you're tired. It's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's not an isolated incident. It's everywhere you go, right?
Everywhere.
All the time. You feel it all the time. So by the time that you snap, it is not that you are an angry black woman, angry brown woman. And if you are entitled to be, because of all the fucked up stuff that's happening.
Yeah.
But no, when you get to that point, you're like, no, I ain't moving. I'm not.
And I'm at home watching the election shit on TV. So I'm at home having all this stuff build up in me. And then I hear a voice on my quiet house's porch. And I'm like, are you crazy? I'm already inside the house. Like, I want to set this block on fire because pumpkin face. And then you go disrupt the quiet habitat that I live in. So to make your point, we have so much that's already in that the wrong person lights that match. And it's going to be an explosion. And then I'm going to be in the precinct like, officer, I didn't realize I was this angry. My bad.
Right. And you know what I'm saying? And the thing is that for when people say angry black woman or angry brown woman, angry Latina woman, it's to control you, right? It's like you don't want to meet that. You don't want to meet that stereotype. So you contain yourself and you don't want to, because they know that you about to slap the teeth out of somebody. And they're like, yo, you're not an angry black woman, are you? Yeah, I am.
No. I happen to be. But that's not even the point. And even when we do shows, like this is recent. I did a show in Nevada, and after the show, okay, first of all, Caucasian people, when you're drunk, that's another level. But drunk white men coming out after the show, and they're like, they expect you to hug them. They don't even ask, can I come into your space? Can I touch you? They just come at you. And for the first time in my career, I started in the last year, I started putting up my hand like, no, I'm good. You want a picture? Well, then take it of me by myself. I don't even want a selfie. Don't come near me. And I realized that after all these years of thinking that I had an obligation to let everyone who wanted to touch me, because most of my audiences, more of them are mixed than they are black. So the mixed audiences, those people come after the show and they feel like they have a right to you. And I know that a lot of it is showbiz and their fans, but sometimes it's like, dude, you can't forget about what you just saw on that stage. You can't cross that line because I'm the funny black girl that you really want to be, you want to be in my area. I'm like, you don't have that right. There's too much entitlement. And sometimes I turn off an audience because I'm like, I just can't allow that anymore because you guys don't know when to stop. I have to start with you. You don't realize you can't just do that to anybody of color because they act like, I've had things said to me like, I love black women, or I wish I had more black girlfriends, or my girlfriend in college was black. Weird shit. So this is every day. My private life is like that. I just told you that story. My work life, I told you that story. So if we explode, you think I'm angry. Well, of course I am angry. Every black person of color is low key or high key or mid key angry. But you can't keep chiseling at it and then be surprised when something happens. It's not an excuse. But then again, it is a very good excuse.
It's a reason. It's a reason. It's more than an excuse. It's a reason. And, we have to express, they love us to express our joy. They capitalize on it, right? Comedy, music, acting, arts, basketball, football. But when we express our rage, there's a problem with that. And we are fully realized human beings. And the reason why a lot of them think that they can touch us is because they dehumanize us so much that when they see us, we are not people. We're not fully realized human beings.
No.
We are trinkets. We are accessories of fun to them. And, I'm not speaking in generalizations. I'm not assuming that all white people believe this, but for the most part, it is because it's in the indoctrination of people in the world that Black people and brown people are like, watch them dance. Look, their tribe is dancing. Look at the natives, they're dancing. Look at the natives dancing. The First Nations people are dancing. That is sacred. That shit is our, what we do when it's ritualistic and it's spiritual for us. It is not for your consumption as entertainment. And so all of it is connected. And so you and I go on the road, and motherfuckers, we get off stage, motherfuckers be like, hey, and I'm like, this ain't Ice Castles, bitch. Loose me. Don't touch me.
Yep.
Don't touch me. And then you're wrong. You're like, did you hear the lady in the video say to him, why are you so nasty? Right? Why are you not adhering to the way that you're supposed to be behaving per my perception of you?
And per your address, per where you live.
Yeah. She was like, she said something about his father or his family, like his parents. They were nice. They were nice. Why aren't you nice? Why are you so nasty?
He needs to have her dog kidnapped. Like, if we need to figure out a way to get at them without getting busted. Like, and not kill the dog, but take him away for like 2 weeks, so she could be like, oh, what happened to my dog? And you're like, I don't know what happened. So they need punishment. I don't understand. To enter somebody's property is what's amazing to me. And ring my bell? What? Are you crazy? Did she ring his bell? Because some of them, there was one I saw, and this is funny though, because she went to someone's house to ask them to remove their Black Lives Matter signs, and the person's house she went to was white, and I kind of wonder if she knew that it was a white person's house she went to. But long story short, the person who was clearly progressive and about it was also someone that she felt comfortable. As long as you believe in humanity, people like her think they have a right to tell you what to think. And I just don't have an answer. And I try to make jokes out of it, but sometimes the day after the election, when I had that headlining gig at Ventura, I wanted to cry. I was on stage holding back tears, and I'm like, okay, Jackie, because after America's Got Talent, I was on what felt like a red state tour.
Yeah.
And while I'm blessed and happy and grateful for it, I was still like, these states are the states that don't really care about me as a human. And I need to realize that if I don't end up performing in those places again, it's not a bad thing. God will give me what I need to live and earn a living and prosper. But it's changed my whole outlook on where I go and how I do things. And, people think because I'm a funny girl that I don't have any kind of hood in me or, any kind of militant in me. And I'm like, I do. I try to be funny on purpose, even when I shouldn't be, because low key, I'm irritated with everything and everyone all the time.
Yeah.
And this kind of stuff that's every day in the news, every day. I mean, this news coverage of the election that clearly Biden won 11 times is in the news every day, but it's low key making me nauseous because he thinks it's okay to act this way. And this is making the whole world, like, everyone is kind of down because we're like, I just need things to change.
Yeah. Can you imagine us going to the lottery office, and say that we won the lottery with our lottery ticket with the wrong numbers? And they're like, no, but these are the winning numbers. And you're like, no, you guys cheated. You cheated. You rigged it. I won this $95 million and I want my money. And I brought my friends with me.
This is sad once again, and I'm just saying that he might want to run again in 4 years. First of all, are there age limits on this bitch? I don't understand. Can you be 100 and still run? Today is President-elect Biden's birthday. And I believe that he turned, what is he now? 79?
Yeah.
Yes. And I got in trouble because during the whole debate thing, I called him old on Twitter and social media. Very good friends were like, Jackie, we're trying to win. You have influence. You can't. I'm like, I'm not trying to diss him. This is fact. He's old as fuck. And Trump is like, well, if I don't get it this time, I'm gonna come back in 4 years. You're gonna come back when you're 81 or 80 or 82, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
I don't understand how what I'm like. Will I be here in 4 years? If the racism is this rampant in my face, I'm low key like, you know what? In 4 years, God, come and get me. I've had a great run. I can't handle this. I don't know what to do anymore. I don't know how to handle it because it's affecting my mood,
Yeah.
and it's the reason why I drink wine with every single meal and breakfast. And I'm trying to find a way to cope. And this stuff online every day. Look, if you're Caucasian watching this, just learn from this stuff. We don't want you guys to disappear from the earth, but some of you, we wouldn't mind.
You so sweet. As we wrap up the hour, anytime I talk to you at 5 a.m. for 3 hours. I want to say that we have an issue right now when we talk about gay people, LGBTQ plus people. There are a lot of people who are pro-Black and brown that believe there's this gay agenda, and that this gay agenda is to eliminate us. And we, those of us who understand that there's been an agenda to eliminate us from the beginning, know that there's no limit that they won't go to make that happen. Still, I believe that it is important that we don't allow that narrative to become something that we use to demonize the gay people, the LGBTQ plus people of our community. So today is Trans Remembrance Day. And let it be known that 37 trans Americans were violently killed in 2020. And not all of them by other people. Tony McDade was also killed by the police. So I wanted to just simply acknowledge that Nolisa Luciano Ruiz, a transgender woman, was shot to death in Puerto Rico. She was 24 for using the women's bathroom at McDonald's. And that video was available online. You could see it. Mendez Arrocho, 19, a transgender woman, was shot twice in the face and killed in Puerto Rico. She had been a victim of an assault 5 hours earlier. She was misgendered and dead named in the media following her death. Monica Diamond was a Black transgender activist and businesswoman, was shot to death while being treated in an ambulance in Charlotte, North Carolina. She was arrested. Prentice Best, 32, was arrested and charged with the murder after he shot Diamond multiple times. Lexi, 33, Black transgender woman, was stabbed to death in Harlem, New York on March 28th. Scotland DeVore, a white gender nonconforming person, was found dead near a highway in Georgia, March 30th. 51-year-old from Augusta was found dead near a highway after being missing for 2 weeks. They found the murderer. Joanna Metzger, a transgender woman, was stabbed to death in Baltimore. April 11th, a college graduate and self-taught musician, was staying at a recovery center at the time of her killing. And the list goes on. Serena Angelique Velasquez Ramos. Most of the people, Leila Palez Sanchez, 21 years old. In Puerto Rico, we have a serious issue in Puerto Rico, which is why Bad Bunny wore a dress on Kimmel, not Kimmel, it was Jimmy Fallon. So I just wanted to just say the names of Penelope Diaz Ramirez, Nina Pop, 28, transgender woman, was found dead in an apartment in Missouri. It was a hate crime. I mean, and the list goes on. And the majority of the people, Tony McDade, Black transgender man, was shot and killed in confrontation with police in Tallahassee, Florida. Most of the people are Black and brown. Dominique Remy Fells, and the list goes on and on. So we wanted just to take a moment to acknowledge these human beings. I don't care what your religion is. I don't care what your beliefs are. Your social beliefs can be whatever they are. They don't have the right to infringe upon other people's liberties and right to have a life. And I think that we have such a serious issue when it comes to these human beings. They are still people. They are people's children. They were born into this world like the rest of us, with dreams, hopes, and aspirations. And if
Yeah.
you have issues with yourself, it's just horrible. So go ahead.
You know what's fun? Not funny, but coincidental. And this is not wasn't planned at all. Maybe this is why you and I are always in sync, even though we don't talk as much as we want to. My podcast, Relatable with Jackie Fabulous, that's on my YouTube page, and you can get it on every podcast outlet. On Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, my next episode, I'm interviewing. My whole panel is going to be trans comics.
Oh, nice.
This is a coincidence. I'm going to have Ian, and they're all Caucasian. Ian Harvey, a transsexual man. Jay McBride, female, and Fifi Dosh, all three transsexual comedians, gifted in what they do. And they're going to be on my panel this Tuesday, called Relatable with Jackie Fabulous. It's on YouTube. You can hear it on all the outlets. And I think I had no idea that this day even existed. So just the way, in my efforts to be more conscious of things that I really don't have any knowledge of beyond what I read and what I see on TV. When I think, was it Trump in the Trump years where he took away protections for trans children in schools?
Mm-hmm.
That made me, I just can't even imagine some people who think that they're superior to anyone else. I just don't get that overall, regardless of what your sexuality is and your lifestyle, what you believe in. I just don't understand people who think they're superior to people in any way whatsoever. Yeah. Like we all bleed red. I don't understand it.
And you know what I will say this is that because racism is real and it is across the board and everything that we do. So someone posted a comment, where's GLAAD when these murders happen? And I just think that a lot of these elitist organizations that are very celebrity driven are also disconnected from the reality of what it is to be a person of color, whether you're trans or straight. And the marginalization is a reality in all aspects of humanity when it comes to Black and brown people. So when we have these conversations and we talk about all these big organizations that are very LGBTQIA plus friendly, there's an elite factor to it where these people who come from rural areas, urban areas, they come from the hood, they come from lower income communities and backgrounds, their lives don't matter as much because they're not, Laverne Cox. And that's why we need to stay connected with the people. There's a lot of racism in the LGBTQ community because racism is a disease and an infection that it goes across the board. It is not specific to just politics. It's in real estate, it's in education, it's in entertainment, it's in everything. And we have to dismantle it across the board. So I didn't want to not acknowledge those lives. I wanted to make sure that I said some of the names of the people that we lost and honored them. I want to encourage people to come check out your podcast. What else is going on? Where can they find you on social media?
If you go to JackieFabulous.com, that'll lead you everywhere. Or my Instagram, the link in my bio will lead you everywhere. My podcast, Relatable with Jackie Fabulous, there's about 20 episodes up on YouTube and Apple and Amazon and Spotify, all that stuff. And I have a show tonight for the University of New Haven, a Zoom show that they made virtual. I was supposed to go down there, but they were like, don't you bring your ass anywhere close to this campus. So I'm going to do that. And, I haven't done a college show in a long time. And, it's day by day. Do I have a schedule? Do I have shows coming up? I truthfully don't remember. But I would love it if all you guys follow me on social media, because I do have something coming up soon that if COVID behaves itself, it will happen. And COVID, if you need me to give you some ass, some cash, whatever you need, so you can go the fuck away, please.
Oh my God. Thank you so much, Jackie, for being here. You got to come back.
Definitely, anytime.
I always have fun with you. Thank you, Dee Morgan. Thank you, Latoya. Thank you for Jackie, Mr. Mike Douglas. I appreciate that. I have lots of LGBTQ plus people in my family. I would take a bullet for any of them. People are people. Treating someone as non-human because of your beliefs is the antithesis of hypocrisy. So, I just want to say thank you to you all for showing up and showing out. We are a village united, and we will continue to speak our truth. And thank you so much. We love you, and we'll see you next week.
Love you.
Love you back.